What's up everyone, welcome to the United Rentals Work United 500 Top 5 DFS Picks video for Sunday, March 12th at Phoenix Raceway, our first short flat track of the season. As always, I'm your host, Chris Pennell. You can find me on Twitter at ChrisPennell16, and this video is presented by PrizePicks. In today's video, we are going over general track strategy, how to approach the slate from a DFS perspective, and my top 5 favorite plays on the slate. Now keep in mind this video is being recorded pre-practice and qualifying, so some of my thoughts and opinions on these drivers can and probably will end up changing a bit throughout the weekend. We have a 50-minute practice session on Friday evening, which is going to be very important just due to the fact that we have a new aero package this weekend. It's going to be lower downforce to reduce it by around 15 to 30%, so we'll have to see how that plays out because it's been several years since we've seen low downforce at a track like this. And then we'll have qualifying on Saturday, which will set the starting grid. And if you want to give yourself an edge and advantage on the field, make sure you head over to stokastic.com. You can use a link down below in the description and use promo code SCORE to get half off your first week to access to all the projections and ownership projections that we currently have on the site. Top driver tools, dominators, everything you'll need to have success heading into the NASCAR weekend. All right, so as far as how we should approach the slate from a DFS perspective, like I said, new aero package this weekend, which is going to change the amount of downforce on these cars, but I don't think it's going to be anything too drastic where there's going to be a bunch of new drivers that we don't usually see at the front of the pack at these short flat tracks. I still think it's going to be more of the same. That's going to reflect in the Vegas odds that we saw that opened up earlier in the week. But at a track like this, we have more laps since there's less distance to cover, which means there's more dominator points available to us. We have over 300 laps this weekend, so we're looking at least 2 dominators per lineup. Probably going to stretch to 3 in some builds depending on who's going to be classified as a dominator for me this weekend. I don't know the starting grid just yet, but if we can get some cheaper drivers that are starting closer to the front to be able to jam in our lineups, I would have no problem doing that. But at the very least, you're going to want at least 2 dominators, but you can probably stretch to the 3 depending on the price points. And one thing to mention last year is that the passing was very difficult at these track types, so just playing starting position was a very strong way to go, although reducing the downforce might help that this season. All right, so getting into the picks here, we're going to start with a cheap driver at number 5, and we have Buescher at $6,600 on DraftKings, $5,800 over on FanDuel, and he's looking like a nice value this week just due to the fact of how well he ran at the shorter flat tracks last season. I'm looking at a 5-race sample size of Phoenix, Richmond, and also New Hampshire last season, and you can add in Gateway as well, which was a newer track last year. But he averaged 40 DraftKings points per race, nearly 70 FanDuel points per race, an average finish of 13.2 with a running position not too far off in 16th place. He had 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, and a few top 15. So Buescher at this price point, if he can be a top 15, even a top 20 contender depending on where he starts, I think he'll be a very solid play, and he showed success at these kind of track types in the past. And moving on to number 4, it's a driver that I love targeting at short flat tracks ever since he's been with Stewart-Haas Racing, but it's Aric Almirola, $6,900 on DraftKings, $7,500 over on FanDuel. But last year at the short flat tracks in a 6-race sample size, we're talking an average running position inside the top 15, a very solid drive rating of 80.8. A top 5, 2 top 10s, and several top 15s. If Aric Almirola can qualify anywhere outside the top 10, I think he'll make for a decent tournament play. Cash play more so if he qualifies outside the top 20, but I do think he'll bring some speed this week, and his track record of these track types, ever since he's been with Stewart-Haas Racing, has been very solid, and this price point does make it easy to fit him in. And before we get into our next pick, I have to mention our sponsor, PrizePicks, because they do make these videos possible. And as of right now, if you're a new user over on the website, you can use promo code AWESEMO to get a free month of Stokastic Plus Platinum, in addition to an instant deposit match bonus up to $100. So take advantage of the free money that they're offering you over on PrizePicks and the free month of Stokastic Plus Platinum that we do offer as well, and use all the tools that we have over on the website to help you get an edge over on PrizePicks. So again, that's promo code AWESEMO. Take advantage of that instant deposit match bonus up to $100. And moving on to number 3, it's a driver that I think is way too cheap given that he offers us dominator upside of these kind of track types, but it's Bell, $800 on DraftKings, and 10 flat over on FanDuel. And every single time we're at a short flat track, Bell has to be on our radars. He's won at them before. He won one last season. And the pricing just does not make much sense to me. I think it's way too low. He has some of the best numbers overall at these track types, some of the best overall speeds, green flag speed-wise. He's near the tops of the charts dating back to last season. He's got 2 top 5s, 5 top 10s, a win under his belt, and a decent amount of dominator points. So Bell at this price point, I love him in tournaments, and I think I like him in cash games as well. Just kind of depends on where he starts. And moving on to number 2, it's a driver that has had a ton of success here at Phoenix, and one that I love targeting at short flat tracks. It's also his last spring race here as well, but it's the old man, Kevin Harvick, $9K over on DraftKings, $11,500 over on FanDuel, but he's just a top 10 machine here at Phoenix. I think he has a consecutive streak of around a decade now, just finishing inside the top 10 at Phoenix. Used to be absolutely dominant here, but tire compound changes and things like that have kind of taken those days away. But with a reduction in downforce this week, who knows? Maybe we'll see him dominate, but I don't really think he has to at this price point. We're just probably going to see him roll around the top 10, top 5, picking up fast laps. Not really expecting him to be dominant, but did last year at the 6-race sample size that I'm looking at the shorter flat tracks. 4 top 5s, 5 top 10s, had a win at Richmond. One of the overall just most fastest cars, green flag speed wise at these track types. His pit crew is always great, helping him maintain or gain spots on pit roads. So at this price point, yeah, I'm all about Kevin Harvick. And finally, before we get into our number 1 play here, I do have to mention, if you do enjoy today's content, you can do us one small thing in return. That's leaving a like on the video, subscribing to the channel. If you are brand new, we post tons of content each and every single day across all sports. So if you think you're going to hang around, do us a favor, leave a like down below, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. I'll be more than happy to get back to you if you do have any questions. But anyway, the number 1 play here, it was very tough picking between these two teammates as they were the 2 best cars at the short flat tracks last year and the 2 best cars in the most recent Phoenix race. It's Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano. I'm going to side with Ryan Blaney here just because he's about $1,000 or maybe $500 cheaper. But it is very, very close. Ryan Blaney is averaging 63.9 DraftKings points per race at these track types last year. Joey Logano at 62.8. But I do like the price discount we get with Blaney. So we're going to roll with him, even though Logano did have 2 wins at them last year. But 3 top 5s for Blaney. Some of the most dominant points, the most fast laps per race. Dominated the most recent Phoenix race before giving away to his teammate Joey Logano to win the championship. And really over the past few seasons now, Ryan Blaney has just been incredible at the short flat tracks. He has a lot of bad luck on the track, but short flats have been pretty good to him finish-wise. And he also is tied for the best odds to win this race over in Vegas with his teammate, Joey Logano. So we're kind of cheating here, picking 2 drivers, but if I have to pick one, as of right now, I will go with Ryan Blaney. Just to recap, at number 5, we have Chris Buescher, number 4, Aric Almirola, number 3, Christopher Bell, number 2, Kevin Harvick, and number 1, Ryan Blaney. But with that being said, that's all I got for you guys this week. And if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet done so. Ring that bell so you're notified whenever we post each and every single week. But if you want access to the projections that will be updated after practice and qualifying, promo code SCORE can get you your first week half off. You can find that link down below in the description for easy access. But I wish you all the best of luck, and I'll see you all next week.